Tadaima, welcome to part 2 of my sister wife experience. So, to get right back into it, I left off the lady that called. Her nickname for me is Mud Duck. So, Mud Duck calls, tells me that she slept with my then husband like maybe 2 weeks or so after we were married. And I was like, hey, if it happened, it happened. It is what it is. It's already done, you know, whatever. What you want me to do at this point? She became a little neurotic, called my job, um, anything that you do in the healthcare realm, any type of practitioner based position that you may have, nurses, therapists, doctors, pharmacists, whatever. You can look that up and find out where people work and all types of things. So that's how she got my work number, I'm assuming. Or she could have went through his phone because that's what some of them do. They go through his phone and call me or whatever. Still, well, not to this day, but yeah, earlier this year. Okay. So anyway, she was crazy, and time went on. Time went on. He was deployed for a little bit. Comes back home. It's Thanksgiving, and back then, well, I didn't really look at phones. I don't believe in looking through people's phones because you're going to find something that you do not like in a person's phone. I'm telling you. Please don't do it. If you are that person, don't do it. But back then, I used to check like phone records and stuff. So I see you're talking to this number all the time. I call the number, somebody he worked with. Her nickname is Bulldog. That's what I call her. And listen, talking to Bulldog, whatever. No, that's not her name. It's not. It's Pitbull. I'm sorry. Pitbull. That's her name. Anyhow, talking to her. And it was just always something after this point. It was me feeling like, okay, I'm inadequate as a wife or something. Something is going on. And that's when I began seeing my first therapist, being married to him. Like I couldn't figure out my life at all. I couldn't make sense. The journaling wasn't working. Going out in parks. I've always loved to hike. I used to hike way back then with my kids. Couldn't figure out any of this stuff, and started seeing a therapist. So a little bit of time passes. We end up moving down south. He gets stationed down here. And we come here, and I'm thinking, great, we're going to be home together every day. We can have more of a family life. We can work through some things. Okay. I was so wrong. It got worse. We get here. I am having some difficulty with work. I end up doing home health here at first for 6 months. And Jacksonville can be, it's a lovely place, but then it can be a little sketchy place, So doing home health, it was never a dull day. It was always something going on. And so I was just in search of work. Whereas, being up north, there's so much work in therapy. Down here, it wasn't quite as much. So once I found my footing with work, I'm working, still trying to go to school to finish my master's, got my kids, just trying to do everything. My grandmother came here for a few months and stayed, and he was very, very helpful with her. And she loves him to this day. He's very, like I say, he's very charming. He's a good person. He's not a horrible person. Just I wouldn't recommend for him to be married again in life, but he's not a bad person. But anyway, just a lot of things going on. So I'm not quite sure when he met the side hand. That's what I'm going to call her. I'm not going to call her by her real, nickname. I'm just going to let that be. I'm going to call her side hand. It's a lot nicer. So one night we're on the couch and the phone keeps going off. I pick up his phone and I text and I read it. And it says, I wish you were here to rub my feet or something like that. And I'm like, And I was like, call me, baby. Text from his phone. She calls. And I'm like, who are you? Oh, we're just friends. Whatever. And I'm like, y'all not friends. We've been married all this time. I don't know who you are. So obviously, you two are more than friends. He denied it. I want to say maybe a month or two goes by tops. I don't think it was even that long. And he finally admitted to me that he was in a relationship with side hen. I don't think he said he loved her, but you know, he just didn't want to be with me anymore, and all that. And my heart hit the floor. Hit the floor for two reasons. The first reason was that he told the truth. I couldn't believe that he told the truth. I was so used to him not being truthful with me that when he is truthful with me, it's kind of like, what? Like, what's gotten into you? What's wrong? You know? And then the second reason was that I had to make some decisions and I had to do them quickly. And, you know, I thought, okay, you're with her, whatever, fine. Sometime a very short time after that, he gets orders to go overseas. So I thought, okay, great. He can go. I'll be here. I'll work, save my money. When he comes back, we can get divorced. So I can move out of this house, whatever. Well, I get laid off. Get laid off. Never been laid off in therapy my whole career. I've been doing therapy for like 10 years, never got laid off. So I was shocked, okay? So I go home, see my family, and my Aunt Bobsy was like, hey, you know, you should go to Japan. It'll be an experience that like you've never had before. Go. What do you got to lose? Go. If you don't like it, you can come back home. So I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I come back down here, pack up the house, get ready to go. I go out there to Japan, and he's not there when I get there. I had to, you know, get housing and a vehicle, and, you know, I had a dog with me. That was tough on my dog. I had a Yorkie at the time. You know, they quarantined them, and it was a lot going on in Japan, a whole lot. And I got to meet a lot of wonderful military spouses. I got to meet a lot of people that were very helpful. And so the transition wasn't that bad. You know, we were able to get everything together, and it worked out really well. So in being in Japan, couldn't really find work in my field. So I began to teach English, and I eventually ended up working for NAF, and that went really, really great. And just started making my own way. People didn't even know I was married in Japan, because by this point I'm like, F it, you know, I'm going to do what I want to do. Who cares? He's doing what he wants to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. And that is not how I desire to be married. Out of the 4 serious relationships in my life, this relationship is the cheating relationship. You know, he cheated on me first, and then after some time I cheated on him back. And what did it resolve? Absolutely nothing, right? Waste of time, waste of energy, waste of just everything, resources, all types of things. So December 2014, my father passes away, and I come back to the States. He comes back to the States, but he's not with me. He's somewhere else. That really hurt me as well, that he wasn't supportive. And after, you know, burying dad, or dad isn't buried, he's cremated, but after getting dad situated and whatnot, with my siblings, you know, I come back to the state, not come back, I go back to Japan, excuse me. And, you know, I'm just in the mode of just like, okay, you know, I am done with this. And in Japan, there was so much money flowing through. Like, when I think about the amount of money that flowed between our hands there, I swear up and down, I think he was helping pay her bills or something at some point. He would never be truthful and tell me that he wasn't. I mean, but I think he was. And so I was just in the mode of like, let me work, let me save my money, let me get things together, because when I get back to the States, I'm out of here. We done. We done. We done. Okay. Get back to the States. And no. Let me back up. before we left Japan, 7 months before we left Japan, he wants to be back together in a relationship. I had met somebody that I was, I was really feeling, and I'm not gonna lie, I will be honest because that is what I'm going to do here on this channel. I'm not going to be lying about stuff. I met this person and wanted to see me, whatever. Boom, I'm on the plane, I'm out, I'm gone. Kids fine, dogs good, whatever. I'm out. Doing what I want to do. Feeling like I'm justified in doing what I want to do because he's in a relationship with side hand, like in a whole relationship with side hand. Okay. And so I gave up that person to work on my marriage. And when I'm in, I'm all in. All 10 toes, all 10 fingers, I'm here. Boom, in it. And she was still there. Never left. Never, ever, ever left. So we broke up again right before PCSing back to the States. And I want to say this. The men and women of the military do so much. I commend them all for what they do. Yet it is very difficult being a military spouse. It is not for the faint of heart. You've got to be a strong person. You have got to be goal-driven in your own right. You cannot wear your spouse's rank, rate, whatever. You need to get your own stuff. And thank God I already had my own stuff, my own education, my own everything before I met number 2. But I see so many people that are military spouses or were military spouses that they got screwed, in the process. So that's tough. Things happen. It's hard. It's hard being a military spouse. And with that, I'm going to close this portion of the video. Catch me in part 3. Ijo desu.